And the reason is because it's more like I'm back at home. Susti Vibe will always be my home. And today I will be sharing my story. Um, and also I'll be sharing some insight I've learned so far, mainly from mainly from my, you know, starting from Susti Vibes and where I am today. So I believe from my story and also from the lessons I've learned, I will be able to inspire, one or two of us today. And for us to get to see that there's nothing we cannot achieve. So I will try as much as possible not to make it motivational, but rather to make it inspiring for everyone. And again, as I said, I'm deeply grateful to Jennifer for this platform and to everyone here, making our time to um, come and listen to what I want to say. So I will share my screen. I hope I have the access for that.
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you very much, Robbie. Just a sec. I'm trying to get that up. So today I'm going to be speaking on doing hard things. And this is a very interesting topic because there is a lot of things I've done in the past, both soft and hard. So today I'm going to be bringing my reflection mainly from the ones that are hard. So doing hard things, and as I said earlier, before I go into the reflections, I'm going to share my story. Um, I believe a lot in stories because stories are powerful. And the organization I run now, that I lead, Shaping African Women in STEM, is actually based on storytelling. And what we do is we tell stories of African women in STEM. Why? Because we believe stories are inspiring. True stories you can empower. True story you can connect with me. We can, you can look into my journey and see where you are now, and also see the possibilities that are there, for you in the future. Also, through stories, you can learn some things you must not do and some things you must do. So I believe stories are powerful, and that's why I'm sharing this story with us. And it's mainly my journey as a Susti Viber. I joined Susti Vibe when I was like this, so I was still very young, and that was 2018. I was a final year student at the Federal University of Technology, Akure, and then I met a friend. That was my first experience volunteering. I love going to the library. I love reading books, so that was the only thing I do from the library back to my house, then go to church. But then in final year, after knowing that I would finish as the best student in my class, I decided to pursue other things, right? So one of the things I pursued then was leadership and volunteering. So I met a friend that gave me the platform to be the campus director of the Business and Entrepreneurship Summit in 2018. And one of the speakers we invited was Jennifer Uchendo. So when I saw her profile and everything, I was like, wow, this is really amazing. And then I was just learning about the SDGs and what people are doing. But fortunately, Jennifer did not make that event. However, that made me to know about Susti Vibes. So after the event, I saw, the guy just shared the link with me that Susti Vibes is looking for young people, to join the community. So I put in my application and then I joined in 2018. So the moment I joined the community, I just saw that, wow, there's something like this, for young people where we get to, chat, have meetings, you know, have events, get to connect with each other and build a family. So it was a very great experience. And all those experiences led to me starting my first nonprofit in 2019 or 2018, but we started our first project in 2019 called Food and Jeans Initiative. So what we did then was a campaign, a 365 days campaign on drug abuse. So we post every day on social media. We, reach out to different organizations and partner with them to mainly to empower young people and also to learn more about, the impact of drug abuse. And so far, the organization have grew. Although of recent I stepped down due to my current work with Shaping African Women in STEM. So in 2019, due to the amazing work we're doing with Food and Jeans Initiative, I got the One Young Goats uh fellowship. Well, the One Young God, I was given a fellowship to attend the One Young God Summit in London. And Jennifer, right here, was on the route. My reference letter, I hope she still remembered. The moment I got the information that I'm going to be attending, I reached out to her, and this shows the importance of having a community like this, right? You don't know the kind of people that you're going to meet and the kind of platform you are until you see a need for that platform and to help you. So I reached out to her and then she wrote a reference letter, and that's how I was able to travel out of Nigeria for the first time. And interestingly, she was in London at that time, and then she came to the hotel I was staying. We had a very nice time, and she introduced me to some of her friends, and some. Then, if she still remember, Victor Hugo. And interestingly, I spoke with Victor some a while ago. I will still mention Jennifer. The experience I had then in London. So I can't forget this kind of experience. And again, that's why I said this kind of community is very, very great. And I also remember another opportunity where Jennifer just reached out to me to represent Susti Vibes at the 3-day conference in Lagos. That was also the first time experience for me, which really shaped who I am today. And besides that, too, there are several opportunities. There was a time we were having trainings, and Jennifer would give me access for free because I was a copper in Lagos and I did not even have enough money out of my allowance to pay for the training. But then we all come for free and learn and, sit down and listen from people. And all these things, kind of expose me to some information that is helping me to build the things I build today. So this was my last Susti Vibes event before I left Nigeria in 2020. As you can see, it was the peak of COVID, but we still made our time to come out and meet with each other, take pictures. You can't see my smile here. I am wearing the face mask. But this, I'm standing right here beside Jennifer and many other amazing Susti vibers. And I think some of these people here now are probably outside of Nigeria too. So it was a great um, experience, and it's been a great community. So if you're part of Susti Vibes now, I want you to leverage on this opportunity. Take it as a platform that can change your life because it changed mine. And after I left Nigeria, I came for my PhD. As I said, I liked reading book while I was in undergrad, so that gave me an opportunity to pursue a PhD, fully funded PhD program here in Canada, where I'm studying mRNA. So I study genetic disease, what's happened, like how mutations in our genes cause disease, and also trying to develop solutions that can address these mutations, right? So, and due to all the works I've done in Nigeria, winning the One Young attending the One Young God Summit in London, being part of Susti Vibes, and all of this experience led me to be selected among 4 graduate students in my school for the Vanier scholarship. So this is the most prestigious PhD scholarship in Canada. So, and that has really opened a lot of doors and also opportunities. And besides that, I lead Impact Leaders Connect, which is an event we have every year, mainly to bring young leaders together to learn, to grow, and to network. And then I run Shaping African Women in STEM, which is the organization I'm leading. And what we do, as I mentioned earlier, is we leverage on storytelling to inspire and to empower African women in STEM. And besides that, too, we do a lot of projects. We have a current project sponsored by the European Union where we're trying to help final year female students to transition from final year into the marketplace, mainly in STEM fields. And besides that, too, we partner with several organizations across the globe. But we have our base in US, Canada, Rwanda, and Nigeria at the moment. And besides that, too, I have speaking events. This was in Toronto. So once in a while, there are opportunities like this where I get to deliver workshops on leadership or on non-profit scholarships and things like that. So yeah, that will bring me to the end of my story today. But the summary of all these things I've shared and all these pictures is to mainly inspire you and to let you know that the future is bright. But for you to be able to take control of the future, you have to do some things. And that's what I'll be sharing today. You have to do the hard things. And again, just to mention, these have opened a lot of doors for me. And I believe one thing is there are some mindset and some information that people that are winning or people that are achieving success, they hold on to, right? And if you walk close to top guys, people that are doing things in our world today, there are some things they are doing differently. And for us to be able to achieve that same result, it's very important that we learn from them and to follow what they are doing, right? So again, that's one of the main reasons why we're having this kind of discussion today. So when we talk about doing hard things, before we go into hard things, I think we should first start from doing, right? Because as young people, we want to do. We have strength in us. You have energy. You have a lot of opportunities today that are not there 5, 10 years ago. You have AI now, you have internet, you have a lot of things going on. And for those that are in Nigeria too, there are a lot of challenges going on around. You're trying to do something. You're trying to win, you're trying to succeed, you're trying to excel. But the challenge is what you do determines what you have. And that's the problem, right? Because life is all about what you put in and what you get out, right? It's just like you put in a code in a computer, then it gives you back the result. That's how life is. It's what you put in that you get. So what you're doing determines the kind of result you have. So anything you have in your life now, if you take time to reflect, is a summary of everything you've done in the past. So if you're currently in final year in undergrad, your result now, your CGPA, is a cumulation of all your academic performance since you entered that school. If you are in business, if you look back, your revenue now and everything you're getting is mainly, the cumulation of everything you've done in the past, right? If you're running a non-profit to where the organization is now is based on everything you've done in the past. So that means it's very, very important for us to actually take time to reflect what we are doing, right? You can be doing some things now that you feel is right, is correct. But then in the future, if you see the result, it might not be good. Why? Because what you're doing, the consequence is going to injure who you are or what you're to become. But the key thing is, I mentioned the word become now, which is something I'm going to address later. But when we talk about doing simply means to perform. I've already spoke about this. You're trying to do something, you want to execute, you want to take action, you want to complete a task. So there are many things we're doing. Once we wake up every day as humans, the next thing that comes to our mind is I want to start doing, right? So being able to know what to do is very important. But before you can do, you need to first be. And that's the again the challenge we have in our world today. Many people are doing, but they have not become the kind of person that can do what they that can help them to achieve greatness in life, right? So before you can do, you have to first be. When I was in Futa, before I joined 60 Vibes, all I was doing, as I mentioned, was reading books, was going to school, because someone told me when I gained admission that for you to be able to get a good job after you're done, you have to finish with a first class. So that was my own mentality. I did not even know, I don't know what I'm going to use it for. I just know that I want to get a good job and I want to, survive. That was my goal. So I kept on reading and just doing all those things. But the challenge is I was becoming a kind of student that after graduation, I might not be that, useful to community because the only thing I know in my head is just reading books. Why that is not bad, there are some things I also need to learn. There are some things I also need to acquire. So joining a community like Susti Vibes, and then I start seeing other young people doing other things. I start seeing that we can go to our community and clean up our community, and then we can do street conferences. I can organize a street conference and bring people together. From there, I'm becoming another kind of person, not just a student now, I'm becoming a leader. I'm becoming someone that can inspire other people to join me to achieve. So by becoming a leader now, there are some things I'm doing, and the things I'm doing now define who I'm going to become, right? So as you are now, you have to ask yourself a question: Who am I? Like, who have I so far since I've been in this world? Who am I now, right? And from you having that definition, you can know, okay, what do I need to do to become another, another kind of person that can achieve this result. So every of the things you're looking for, every of the things you want to have, which is my next, reflection here. The more you do, the more you have. Every of the things you want to have, there is a certain kind of person you need to become. And once you become that person, you begin to do certain kind of things, and those things will help you to have. When I wanted to, apply for the Varney scholarship, which I shared earlier, here in Canada, I was already in my second year of my PhD program. But then the moment I decided to take that step, I started facing a lot of challenge. One of the challenges, this scholarship is very competitive. Across Canada, they will only select 56 people, right? And I'm an international student. I came from Nigeria, though I've done some little things, but I can't, stand against someone that was born here, that is already, maybe into sports, into politics. They've built a lot of profile. So the first thing I faced was myself. Can I win this? Do I deserve to win this scholarship? I'm going to be competing against these top guys. I don't think I can make it. So for a whole month, I couldn't write a single essay. And for you to win the Vanier, you have tons of essays to write about yourself, your proposal, and all these things. So I couldn't write a single thing. Why? Because I just feel like I don't have what it takes. And that's what is happening with many, young people at times are faced, right? You don't even know what you have. You don't know who you have become over the years. And if you don't know that, you can't do things, you can't take steps. You just see people, winning, and then you feel like I can't do what they're doing. Why? Because you don't know who you are. So I was like that for about a month. And then one day I just, woke up and I just make a decision that, okay, the worst that can happen is for me to fail this particular exam. It's for me to fail this particular scholarship or lose it. But at least I applied. At least I put in my best. And then I started reflecting. I started thinking about the things I've went through, right? Even just studying in Nigeria alone is a lot of leadership skills on its own, right? Being part of SUSTI Vibes, which, all these things I put in my essay. When I was in Lagos, I was the president of the Lagos Sustainable Development Group. And then I traveled, to London for One Young World, all the campaigns we've done. I just started writing all of these things down. And before I knew it, I had a full 2-page like document on my leadership experience. And putting all of these things together, I was selected for the scholarship. So doing hard things takes a lot of reflection about you knowing who you are, who, all the things you've done in your past, what all those things have shaped you to become. And then from there, you have a definition. And right there, you cannot take step into doing things, right? And as I mentioned, the kind of things you're going to do to yourself is based on the knowledge of who you are. So if you're here to truly know who you are, if you're here to truly take, time to reflect on the skills, the abilities, all the journeys you've went through in life, it might be hard for you to access opportunities. It might be hard for you to access, platforms. It might even be hard for you to take advantage of platforms like this. Many of my friends or many people also joined Steve Vibes then, but I don't know why I was the one, Jennifer called to come and, represent Steve Vibes at some event. Probably there were some things I was doing. Probably it was, maybe I was doing, some right things. I don't know then, but I believe one of the reasons why I was selected for those things is because there was something I wanted to become, and people can see that hunger in me. So I'll be sharing now on hard things, right? Because I've shared about you doing, and the kind of things you do determine the kind of things you have, right? So it's very important for you to know what are the kind of things I can do as a young person. I'm just finishing my undergrad. What can I even do to excel? okay, I'm in my PhD program now. What can I do? Or I'm currently going into corporate. What can I do to excel? So some of the things I'm sharing here are personal to me. Some of them I've learned them from mentors. Some of them I've learned from being part of communities like Susti Vibes. Some of them I've learned them from reading books, right? So one thing I want you to know is this: doing hard things does not mean you must suffer or you have to go through pain. I want you to, have this at the back of your mind. Doing hard things does not mean that you have to always go through pain. Although there are some times that you have to push yourself hard, but that doesn't mean you should suffer. That doesn't mean you have to, do a lot of things that are not right. A story just came to my mind when I came to Canada here. So I did one, one funny thing. So when I came, I met a friend of mine that's into snow clearing. So he clears snow during winter. Currently we're in winter, and like today now, the weather is feeling like minus 25. So there are times where you have it like heavy snowfall. So there are some people that go out for these snow clearing job. So what you do is you go to a house, and then there are some tools they will give to you, and then you pack snow maybe for like an hour or two in minus 25. So then I did not know what came up on me. I just reached out to him that I would love to join him in his next snow clearing. So after I went for that experience and I cleared snow for like an hour or two, and I got home, I think I slept maybe I don't know how many hours I had to sleep. All my body was aching, and at the end, he gave me I think $10 or $15 for all the 2 hours of packing snow. And right there, I made a decision that today is the last day I will ever do this kind of job, and I will never find myself doing this kind of job again. That's art, but that's not the kind of art things I'm talking about here. There are some of us today now that what you're doing is not what you should be doing, and that's why it's painful. That's why you're suffering. Why? Because you're doing the wrong art thing, right? You're doing the wrong thing. There are some things you can put in place and put your energy into that will give you more result. It doesn't mean that you are not doing the hard work, but it's just that you're doing it right, right? You're going towards the right journey. An example is you have maybe two graduates that just finished school, and one of them just decide to maybe go into betting, or maybe go into something that doesn't really add much to the person's mind, and then the other person just decide to go into reading books, taking courses, developing themselves. Both of them are doing things, but the challenge is they are doing different things. One is trying to look for a shortcut in life. The other person is trying to go towards the hard way, and the hard way is you reading book, reading books, paying the price and everything. The thing is, both of them are going to have both of them, they are going to have something in life, and that's the result. And this result is going to determine whether what they did, the decision they made, is the right one or the wrong one. So anything you're doing now is a decision you made, and it might be hard because what the decision you've made is not the right one for who you are, the kind of person God has made you to be, right? So hard things does not mean suffering or pain. So I want you to have that at the back of your mind. So what does hard thing means? It means saying yes now so you can say no more in the future. There are many young people today that say no a lot. And it's funny because you're still in your 20s and people reach out to you for opportunities, and the next thing, oh, no, no, no. I just, no, no, no. I understand the fact that you want to prioritize, you want to have time and everything, but please, there's a time to say yes in your life and there's a time to say no. When I joined Susti Vibes, then one of the things I'm grateful for myself is I said a lot of yes. Anytime people like Jennifer or the people people I volunteer will reach out. Oh, Sam, can you help me with this? Yes. Can you help me with this? Yes. Why? Even though some they might not give you money, they might not give you this, but they are giving you exposure. They are giving you platform. They are giving you networks. They are giving you connections. There are places I've stepped into in my life by saying yes, and I can't imagine. And at times, these opportunities will not come like something big. They might just be something small. But you just being open-minded to opportunities when you are still young is very good, because a time will come when they won't even come and meet you. Me and Jennifer, we do talk once in a while, but I can't remember maybe the last time she came to me and say, um, "Oh, Samuel, come and help me do this." But there was a time that I receive, we do talk and so, okay, Sam, help me with this, but I say yes, right? So please, there's a time for yes, there's a time for no. Now, if you're looking for platforms, you want to, um develop yourself, you want to become someone that will change your community, change your nation, please, there's a time to say yes, and there's a time that you will start saying more no's. And let me tell you this, you're going to rise up and become someone that not naturally people will not just bring some things to you again, right? If you hear people that always say, oh, say no more, they just be saying no to everything, it's possibly they are not becoming. You are going to become a certain kind of person that people will not even reach out to you with some offers, right? So please say yes now to develop yourself. The other one I'll be sharing is think long term rather than short term. When I came here for my master's, I came here as a master's student, and there was a time I had an opportunity to transition into PhD or leave. Like you can graduate with a master's or transition into PhD. Many people told me to go for a master's, which is not bad. But then I looked at the next 10 years, I looked at the next 15 years of my life, and I felt a PhD is needed, even though there is more price to pay. So that's one of the hard things to do, right? Many of my friends that did masters, they already have jobs now, right? But I had to just make that decision that my long term is going to, pay me more than short term. And this applies to whether you're making financial decision, building a company, building a business, applying for scholarships opportunities. Some of you here now, you've given up on academics. The moment you finish your undergrad, you just pack your notes. I'm no longer reading again. That's a wrong decision. You have to develop yourself. You have to think long term, right? There are some programs you did in school now that are no longer, they're not going to be useful anymore in 2, 3 years with AI. So you have to think long term. Okay, in the next 10 years, what's going to be happening in this world? What are the things I should have now that can prepare me for that time? The other thing is delayed gratification. They reach out to you, they want to give you an opportunity. Don't ask for money first. Like many of us here, we say, if you don't see money, you can't do anything. You have to first, let that mindset get out of you. Because most of the great things in life, money cannot give you. And money cannot, the moment you see more, at times, the moment I even see money, it kind of hinders the next opportunity that is coming. Right. There was a quote, or I don't know, maybe it's a write-up I saw a while ago, and the person mentioned something that if you want to get a lot from a deal, start with pro bono. Right? Start with pro bono. At least get your feet into the door, connect with people, do something free for them so that those people they won't forget you. They will always remember that, oh, this guy helped me. And then they owe you. Not like you're doing it because you want something back from them, but at least they won't forget you in case if you need their help later on in the future. The moment you bring money, at least if that thing is closed already, right? They already paid you back. So please delay gratification. Learning daily, sleeping less, rising early. This is what doing hard things means. You might have to sleep late at some times. You might have to rise very early at some times. You might have to like read books, read different things, get exposed to different things just for you to be able to, become and achieve what you want to achieve in life. And consistency and resilience is very important. Many of these things I believe but I'm saying them again, just for you to know that these are the hard things we're talking about, right? You showing up every day, you not giving up. If you're applying for opportunities here and they have been denying you, I want you to know this, that we are all been, receiving this love letter every day. I can't tell you how many I've received this month alone, right? The more we apply, the more we feel. But that doesn't mean we should not apply again, right? The more you feel, the more you should stand up again and put in more. And I used to have this mentality that if you apply for something that they don't give you, it's either that thing is not meant for you. There are many of you here that you're applying for things that are not for you. They are not in line with your destiny, right? The other thing is that thing is below you. There are many opportunities that are already below you. Stop applying for opportunities that are below you. And the third one are the ones above you. So those are the ones most times that they won't pick you. And the reason is because you've not become the kind of person they want. So for you to be able to rise up to those opportunities, you have to become. You have to develop yourself. You have to say yes more to opportunities. You have to volunteer more. You have to lead more because all of these things is what you can put on an essay that I've done to deserve this kind of opportunity. And embracing failure so you can succeed more. The more you fail, the more you succeed. I already spoke about that. And competing with yourself, collaborating with others. Don't compete with others. So this is hard, right? You want to compete with others. You're looking at the other person's life and comparing it with yourself. That's easy. That's soft work, right? But when you're competing with yourself, you look at yourself last week and say, oh, this week I want to be a better person. That's competition with yourself. And when you see other people, collaborate with them, think of how you guys can come together and build things. Because those that collaborate, they rise faster, they move faster and they achieve faster. So lastly, thank you very much. I hope you've been able to learn one or two things from my presentation today, and I'm open to questions, discussions, insights, and feedbacks. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you very
Samuel,
much.
for this beautiful presentation.
You're
My
welcome. Thank
my
you.
notebook is filled up literally. Like when you're listening now, like these are literally the hard things that we're all avoiding. Like literally. Thank you. We have a few hands raised. Yeah.
Okay.
Omotoyosi, please go ahead.
Oh, Tejas is here.
Yeah.
Wow,
Thank you,
longest
Samuel.
time.
It's so nice. It's so nice to see your face and hear from you. And I'm just so proud and happy and
Yeah,
excited. Thank you so much.
thank you
So
for
I
your
have one
time.
question, and I feel like people might have it on their mind because you said say yes to everything when you're being called upon, and I feel like oh, I get it from the angle of just being there because you're resourceful. But my question to you is, how do you now prevent burnout from just always saying yes? Sometimes, we have to say no. So how do we, where's that balance?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. So, I think before opportunities start coming your way, you have to be able to have a definition of where you're going. So there are some opportunities that are not, as I said, there are some things that are not meant for you. When people reach out to you and say, okay, Samuel, come and do this thing for me, you look at where you're going and you see that, okay, this is not in line, then you can easily say no. So and another thing is a plan, having a calendar. So for instance, I would say though now I say more no's, but there were from time, in the past that I say more yes. And what I do then is I look at my plan. So let's say in a week I already planned that I'm going to, do some readings. I'm going to work on some things. I leave a little space available in case if someone reach out to me for opportunities. So we have to prepare and plan for opportunities. And when the opportunities come to you, or where maybe someone brings a problem to you, look at your plan. If it's already filled up, kindly tell the person that, oh, I'm sorry, but can I recommend another person that can help you? But again, be helpful, not just say no, right? If someone reach out to me today and tell me to help them with something, I might not be able to do it for them due to my schedule, but I can look into my circle and say, can you please reach out to this person? I'm sorry I can't help at this moment, but not that every time I always say no, to people. I think it's something that is very popular today now. That anytime you reach out to someone, especially young people, oh no, 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 I'm not available. I get the fact that you don't want to burn out, but please just create that time. And part of what you should also create is create time for you to relax and for you to also reflect. I think we should do more of reflection. That will also help us to be able to know who we are and take more opportunities. I hope I answer your question. Thank you, Toyose.
All right, she just reacted, yes. We have another hand raised. Yewande, can you unmute and ask your question?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Samuel, for this amazing session. I learned a whole lot actually because at a point I was thinking of saying no to a couple of things. But yeah, thank you. So I want to ask a question. My question is, okay, if we have projects that people like come to us, you to come on this project with me, blah blah blah. And yes, obviously, like it's something that is beneficial to me. So I'm looking to say yes, but
Mm.
they are what's it called? They are not totally clear. about, oh, okay, this is what the project is going to be about. This is what, this is what we're risking. This is what we're gaining. All of that. They're just saying, okay, how about you join me to work on this project? And they're just trying to like, how far are you going to work on this project with me? Like, you get what I'm trying to say. There's a pressure, but there's no sincerity. How do we,
Mm.
handle that kind of situation?
Okay, yeah, thank you, Yewande. I've had several of these kind of experience before. And one thing I would say, there are two ways to this. Number one is, do you know the person? Um, because at times people will reach out to you to join on maybe a project or to start something or run an initiative, but they themselves, they also don't have the clear vision yet, and they want you to join them on that journey. There are things like that. But the other thing is there are some people, maybe someone, if it's someone that you don't know at all or someone that you've not really worked with in the past, it's very important that you clarify because I mentioned something earlier that you need to have a plan. And each and every one of us on this call, we have a circle around our lives. That's our boundary, right? There's a circle around your life, and in that same circle, you have your family, you have your own work, you have, you know, things that you want to do, you have plans and everything. And in that same circle, people also have their own circle that they want to bring into your circle. So you have to be able to, create that plan and know that you can't go beyond this thing because I need to ensure that my circle is still maintained. Right. So when someone reach out to you, they need to give you, clarify if it's someone you've not worked with before. Right. Another thing is when it comes to making decisions like this, especially when it comes to collaboration, there is more like an inner voice that can also tell you that this is something you shouldn't. An example for me, last year, there was a friend of mine that reached out that we should start a company here together in Winnipeg. And we already have the name, I've created the email, we have a website and everything, but inside of me, I was not feeling it. I knew something is wrong. And right there, I told him that we might not be able to go further with this. Right? Everything is still there, but I'm not doing. So there are many projects like that that I've also given up on. And I also want to mention this. I did not put this in my slide, but one of the hard things we also need to learn is how to give up, how to say no, even if you've started something and you're feeling that this is not in line. There should be something in you that should tell you that. And once you feel that thing, I think it's good that you just take a step back, right? So there should be an inner knowing because most of the ideas I've run in my life, I don't have full clarity about what they are. I just have, maybe a vision or something, and I reach out to people, okay, join me on this. I don't have the full clarity, but let's do it together. Let's walk the journey together. So you can have those kind of ideas, and I think those ones are not bad. But you have to ensure that the person you're working with, you know them well. Maybe you've worked with them before, or there are people you can trust, right? But if it's someone you can't trust, ensure that there are things in writing, you sign documents, you clarify with them and you know what you need to do and what they need to do. If there is no clarity there, then you should take a step back until everything is clear. Yeah.
All right, Yewande, has he answered your question? Okay.
Yes, so sorry. Yes. Thank you so much again.
All right. Thank you so much, Samuel. I don't know if we have more questions. Do we have more questions for Samuel? Please, let's extract all this juice from him before he goes off the call. Let's extract all the wisdom juice.
And in case
All
if there's anyone on
right.
call that wants to apply
Thank you
for
so much,
scholarship,
Samuel. Like me personally, I've
okay.
learned a lot. Everything you're dropping down, I was like, okay, these are really the hard things. Saying yes, thinking long term. And it looks so easy to just read and pass through, but they're actually very difficult to stick to and commit to them. But thank you for bringing it to the surface. It hits well today. Thank you so much. And I'm very sure a lot of us on the call today have learned a lot. And we
Mm.
have comments in the chat box too. Ogechi says, thank you, Mr. Samuel, for your amazing presentation. Learned a lot.
Thank you. Thank
Yay.
you very much.
Annie also said, yes, Samuel, thank you so much. Truly enjoyed listening to practical wisdom. Pure and so down to earth.
Thank you,
That's
Ali.
Annie. Dorothy also says, thank you, Mr. Samuel. Great presentation. Thank you so much. We have a hand raised. Dorothy, before we answer the person raising his hand, Dorothy said, Mr. Samuel, please, you were saying something just now. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I was
Dorothy,
saying that if you, in case if you also want to apply for academic scholarship or anything, if you have any question on that, I can also answer. In case maybe you want to, you're trying to come to Canada or something, I can provide some information on that. Yeah.
this is pure saucy privilege and saucy access. Thank you so much, Samuel, for this. Okay, the hand raised. Yewande, can you please just go ahead? I don't know whose hand was raised before.
Yes, yeah, I'm so sorry. So yes, actually, thank you so much, Mr. Samuel, because I've been looking for an opportunity like this, and I mean on a platter of gold. So I want to ask because I have a BSc in chemistry, pure and applied chemistry, totally unrelated to like my vision in life right now, and I'm looking at pivoting to comms, to communications, to advertising, all that sweet stuff. But I've been hearing a lot of, oh, you still need to do maybe a BSc in comms or something before you can apply for masters in. It's like a whole lot of noise, and I don't even know which one to pick, which one is correct, which one is wrong. It's downing down on me a lot, and yeah, basically that's my question.
Yeah, thank you, Yawande. I would say in the world we are in today, certificate is no longer the thing because the world is now I would say everything is accessible now. Knowledge is free. It's becoming more common. So if you want to do anything, I would say just start. And um, the more you listen to people, the more you're fearful, the more they will keep on telling you things you need to get or things you need to have. If you want to go into communication, you have to start with something. And it might be that taking an initiative and just launch something on your own, right? It might be that, you creating a plan and say, okay, maybe starting from next week, I want to um have my own podcast, right? So if someone asks you now during an interview that, okay, you one day, do you have an experience with communication? I have a podcast, and today I have about 10,000 listeners per month, right? I have a YouTube channel where I talk to people about, transitioning from chemistry to comms, right? So I would say our word today, that you don't need to go back to school for that. Because if you go back to school, you're wasting time. There's no time, right? By the time you're out of school, you're competing with an maybe 20 years old boy that just came out from comms, a Gen Z that is very active, and by then you're married, you have children. You can't win that kind of competition. So if you have anything, I would say you should start now. And then when you are in need, if there is a need for extra certification, you can always get a certification in that. And I have a lot of people that transition. Jennifer here is a biochemist like me, and I don't think she's into biochemistry again, right? And even me as a physiologist now, I study, I'm in lab at the moment, I do a lot of research, but then I've lead several businesses, done, operations director, project management, and all this. And so you can do other things. And lastly, if you do anything science, there are some skills you already learned from that are transferable. So as a chemist now, you have, analytical thinking. You can analyze data, you can bring chemicals together that you can use to, produce something. You can also bring that into comms, right? If you want to get a job, you can tell the interviewer that, look, I'm a chemist. And that is actually what makes me unique because if I see any communication, I can analyze them in a way that a normal communication person might not be able to. So you just have to look at what you have and build on them to create what you want to do. So I won't encourage you going back to school now for that kind of thing. And if you think that you need to quickly learn fast, you can go on online, online courses. If it's communication, you can check upsport.com. They have a lot of free courses on communications, marketing, and things like that, right? Content writing. Just go there, get free certificate, put all of them on your CV, package yourself, right? Rebrand yourself. So you don't have to go to school for that again. I think, and that's this extend also to many of us here. There are some things, sure, you might need education for some things. Having a PhD for me is because probably the path I want to follow. But at times, some of the things we want to do, we don't have to go back to school for them. We can learn from other platforms to develop ourselves. So don't always think that because I want to go into tech, I must go back to school to go and learn tech. No, but there are some programs that you have to go back to school for. Maybe some professional programs. You want to be a medical doctor now, you must go back to school because you need to be certified. But some things you can just, you know, look around you, look for people that are doing it and learn from them. There are many examples in our world today of people that have transitioned from science into other things. An example is also Larry Shaper. If some of us know him here, the founder of Area I, he's also a biochemist, and today he's into leading education. So you can always transition from where you are. You don't have to go back to school. But later on, if you need to, you will know yourself that yes, I need to go back to school for this. But by then, you should have been in what you want to do, not go to school to get it, but you're already at the center of it. Then you see the need for it. Yeah.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much for that was helpful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much, so much. I've even learned so much from just the questions that keep coming up. Saucy Vibers, please, what do we tell Miss Samuel in the chat box? Say something nice. Tell him a very big thank you.
Yeah, thank everyone
Yeah, all
again.
right. As we drop our thanks in the chat box, Jennifer just raised her hand. Jennifer, can you please just go ahead?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, everyone, for joining and participating. Samuel, I am so, so proud of you.
Thank you,
And
Jennifer.
I wanted to just say thank you for making time, to speak to the community and just inspire and motivate us all together.
Thank you.
I think one of the main things I picked out of what you said is this idea of, discovering yourself and reflecting over time, and it's also giving me some ideas of more and more things we can have with the community on how to do some of these things, how to
Mm.
ask yourself these hard questions and answer them. But thank you, very
Thank you
proud
very
of
much.
you.
Sir.
It's so nice to hear people say Mr. Samuel. Please, we still continue first name basis.
Yeah, so I'm not Mr. I'm a very
I
young
don't know why
man.
we're calling Mr. Samuel.
Just call me Samuel Sam. I'm okay. I'm not a Mr.
But thank you. We are so proud of
Yeah,
you.
thank
And
you,
just to
Jennifer.
say, you're always a Susty Viber. Yeah. So thanks for
Always,
for
always. Thank
sharing
you
your
very much.
story. Yeah. Over to
Yeah.
you, Ruby.
All right, thank you so much, Jennifer, for that. We have a question in the chat box from Dorothy. She's asking if we have application questions subsequently, can we contact you and where? That's a
Oh yeah,
question from
definitely.
Dorothy.
Yeah, you can contact me on LinkedIn. Just send me a message. I will respond. Yeah, I'll respond. And also, I have a channel. My friend and I were launching a channel soon called Next Level Discourse. So the goal of this is to talk about scholarships, opportunities, and things like that. So I'll just put the website here so you can reach out to me also from there. So. Yeah, so there we're going to be sharing information and insight that can help you, and also be inviting some of our friends in the we are trying to create a community where people can access information about winning all these scholarships, and if you want to pursue anything, or you want to, maybe you want to get a grant for a project, things like that. Yeah, you're welcome.
This lovely, lovely. Thank you so much. Please, make do with the links in the chat box. Grab them. This is pure gold. Thank you so much, Samuel. Um,
You're
I
welcome.
think not. I'm not thinking. It's 7 o'clock, and we've had a very beautiful 1 hour, and we've learned a lot. I personally, I've learned so much, and I'm very grateful. Okay, before we go now, Saucy Vibers, let's connect look through the participants, the names in the among the participants, and give shout out to 3 people. Just shout out among yourselves. Since I'm done unmuting, I'm shouting out to everybody. Merit, Aishat, Andrew. So nice to see you again. Annie, I know you're tired. Shout out to you. I'm not seeing anybody doing a shout out in the chat box. Kabir is shouting out to every CM. Kabir, that's not fair. Only CMs and CP. Thank you, Merit. Thank you, everybody. Mazida is shouting out to Muleyan Binti Samuel. Yay. As for Sosi ancestor saying, all right, we shall get there. Shouting out to you all. Jennifer is shouting out to everybody. Shouting out to everyone, Daniel. Thank you so much for being part of this session. And I'll be dropping a form link in the chat box now for feedbacks to guide our next session. Please do well to just feed. It won't take more than 2 minutes. Let me share it now. So as we're shouting out, let's fill this form. I'll share it in the WhatsApp group as well, but can do that now to inform our next session going forward. Aisha is shouting out to Samuel that, yay, I got a shout out, Kabir and everyone. Thank you. That's lovely. Okay. It's nice to have all of us here. We would have taken a group selfie, but see, it's very dark where I am. Sorry, I got disconnected for a while. All right, thank you, everybody. Please fill the survey form, share your feedback, and we'll meet in our next community session. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much, Samuel.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Yeah, bien à toutes. Au revoir.
Au revoir, à bientôt.
Exactly. Hey, God, I need to take my French classes serious.
Can you next
Hey,
weekend,
God.
though?
True.